went camping with friends. We got alcohol and bought a bag of weed. We passed around a joint and a bucket, and before you know it, the bag was gone. We were all off our tits. It was good, but then it took a turn for the worst. One of our friends started having a seizure, and the situation seriously got out of hand. He was fitting uncontrollably. We were still off our faces and didn't have a clue what to do. One of the guys rang an ambulance, and when they got there, they brought the police with them. Suddenly, one of the others dropped to the floor. She went pale and started vomiting. Then everyone started dropping like flies, and I was the only one left standing. Then everything suddenly went black, and I fell to the floor. I woke up in hospital the next day. We thought it was a bit of fun, when really it was the most horrifying night of my life.
The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very
I started smoking skunk when I was around 11 years old. The first time I hated it, and I only really did it because I was hanging around with older people who were all into that sort of stuff. I tried loads of different stuff, but none of it was strong enough for me, so I quickly became hooked on coke. I needed money badly to pay for my addiction, so somehow I got myself into male prostitution. This went on for just over a year until I got social services to help me. They put me in foster placement. Several months down the line, I was happier than I've ever been, loving my foster family and enjoying every minute of it. But when I was a 14-year-old, I'd learned the hard and dangerous way.
Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson.
When I was 12, I began hanging around with older people who were well-known heroin addicts. Then one day I decided to try it and had a serious habit of myself by the time I was 13. My first experience was like nothing I had before. It made me feel so nice though, but it makes people sick for the first time, but I was alright. I knew what was happening in my own world, but outside of that, when I was going hard, I was doing about 130 pounds a day. I was like a skeleton, stick thin, and I had nasty spots. You just don't look after yourself. I completely destroyed my relationship with my family. They left me to bits, but no one wanted to have a smackhead in the house in case I robbed them. I turned 17 and then 2 months later I was sent to jail. After I went to prison I stopped using. That was enough to put me off for doing it ever again. Coming off rattling, off the gear was the most horrible thing you could ever experience. I was ill for about 3 months and it gets into your bones and you just ache everywhere. I had a lot more proper support from Addiction and Lawrence Link, people that helped me. And they also do a support group for parents, and yeah, my mum went to that as well. Getting off, that's the easy bit, but staying off, that's what puts you to the test. The only way to stay clean is to cut all contact from your friends. 2 of my friends died before I went to jail, then the 3rd died whilst I was in jail, and 2 died since then, since I've been out. Then I found out my missus was pregnant, which made me think all over again. Because I was using when she got pregnant, the baby may have to spend a few weeks coming off heroin in a special care unit. It's all my fault, and there's nobody to blame but myself. My baby's due in March, and I'm going to move in with my missus, and I want to enroll for college next year to do the business studies. But this time around, I have too much to lose. I know I'm worth better than that, and I'll have a baby to look after as well.
Just forget the world. Forget what we're told before we get too old. Show me a garden that's bursting into life. Let's waste time.